y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's Danreael live, and we live and we lit, and we are about to react to a video. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. So in today's video, we are going to be reacting to Dr. Umar, and he's on The Breakfast Club. And I got this video from TikTok, and it says that he's speaking about black masculinity. So prepare yourself and comment what you want, listen, vibe, you know what I'm saying? We here to watch, okay, and react. So let's get into it.
Man, I want to ask you something Columbus Short said since we talking about that.
Sure.
He said he got some heat for saying that black men are dating outside their race because most black women are raised by single mothers and absentee fathers and taught a don't need a man mentality. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, here's what I would say to my brother Columbus Short, and I'm a fan of his. Are we not all victims of the systemic oppression and injustice that racism has introduced into our community? So,
okay, wait. So let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think that you know, us being raised, a lot of us being raised by black single mothers, do y'all think that that has affected how we outlook on the relationship aspect of relationships? I feel like I was raised by a single mother. She never instilled in us, and my mama got 5 girls. She never instilled in us that we don't need a man. She more so instilled in us to, you know, do what you gotta do to get to where you're trying to go. And if that means that, you know, the man's not gonna be there, then he's not gonna be there. But some women do instill that into their children. But yeah, hold on a second, let me go grab my charger where we left off.
just as you have black women who didn't grow up with their father, you have black men who didn't grow up with their fathers or their mothers.
Right.
In other words, why is it acceptable for the black man raised by a black woman without his dad to reject a black woman raised by her mother without her dad? I think sometimes black men can be guilty of a double standard where we want a perfect offering when we ourselves are not a perfect offering. And to that point,
I love that. I agree. I feel like it's a lot of double standards. It's a lot of gender roles going on. And like the black community is so different because we attack each other. And it's hard for us to work as a team. I forget, I'm black, y'all. I know I look a little bit, everything in between, but I'm black. My mother is black, my father is black. But I do agree, and it's hard to get along with each other in this community. When I see other communities, so I got a bunch of jobs, okay? I got an online ministry, I have a government job, and I'm a part-time CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant. So I'm around a lot of different cultures and races when I'm working in my CNA job, and I see how they operate with their families. And you know, the YT community, they can still work together. Like they can have disagreements, but they can still work together. And I've seen the Asian culture, Hispanics, like everybody else can work together but black people. Why is that? I'm really trying to understand it. But carry on, Dr. Umar.
Black men need to recognize the fact that one of the reasons we have so much conflict with black women is because we don't operate on a masculine platform with our women all the time. We tend to operate on a female platform. For example, when a woman gets angry, rather than you trying to understand your queen non-emotionally. So you can't have both people in a relationship with a low emotional IQ. Because if both people in a home, and if you and your wife both have a low emotional IQ, if you and your wife both have a low emotional IQ, y'all gonna argue over everything because nobody says, I am not gonna emote over this. I'm not gonna deal with this with feelings. I'm gonna use reason and intelligence. That's what the man is supposed to do.
Right.
That's what we do.
Exactly. There is a lot of tit for tat going on, and like when you a man, you're not even supposed to entertain that part of a woman. Like she gonna always have her little attitude and be emotional, and she gonna react off of her feelings. But as a man, you're supposed to react logically. Now I get it, men have feelings, men are emotional. There are some men who are more emotional than women. I get that because I've dated someone like that. And I feel like let's talk about the relationship I was in. So the relationship I was in, I was engaged. I feel like he was definitely very emotional, and sometimes I remember I had a talk with his mom and his her husband about this. They was just basically saying like, yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to pick up the slack. You're gonna have to deal with, you know, him being emotional. Sometimes you're gonna have to be the more logical one. I feel like me being a woman, I'm naturally supposed to be like that, and it makes me shift into being more masculine to deal with that. So I do agree. I feel like men should react logically way more than they do in these times. and things will go a lot better, because that's why God made you a man and God made a woman. Like, he made them for both to be
By
different.
single mothers, many of us, we reflect right back to them that emotional trauma that they throwing on us. So in essence, you have two females arguing, although one is in a man's body. Black men have to start being masculine and less feminine. All this cattiness, this back and forth between black men and black women on the internet, that is feminine and feminine. Masculinity don't operate like that. Masculinity wants to understand where the woman is coming from. Masculinity wants to then intervene, study himself, evaluate his behavior, and try to level up to where she needs him to be. But arguing back and forth with women as a man, that's anti-masculine behavior. What we really need is some testosterone shots. We need more testosterone, because black men are mimicking female behavior emotionally, and they're not even recognizing it.
Okay, first of all, shout out Charlamagne, shout out Dr. Umar. I agree, more testosterone is needed for the men, and like he said, we need testosterone shots for the men. This is my green juice. It has celery, cucumber, oranges, apple, and lime. If you start working on the way you eat, men and women, you will balance your hormones out back naturally to where they're supposed to be, and men will have higher testosterone and women will have the proper amount of estrogen, because the foods that we eat today there are so many chemicals in there, so many preservatives, and they're destroying the human body. And it's just so important. But I do agree. He said that, you know, they gotta come with the masculine energy. What y'all think in the comments? Comment below. Shout out to Dr. Umar. Love y'all. God bless y'all. See y'all in the next one.